This schedule right here is perfect fit for him to do full body every day. He wants to get stronger in bouldering and indoor climbing, which is gonna be a lot. Today we're gonna go through one of my client's other plans, Marco's plan. He's trained with me for a year and we have built a strong foundation. Now we switch to training where he's gonna do everything on his own and I will give him the feedback. He start with the schedule of 3 times a week, which is Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So this schedule right here is perfect fit for him to do full body every day because he has enough day to rest in between. What I will do is I will make it full body, but I will focus more on one specific movement pattern on each day. To be specific, it will be push on Monday, pull on Wednesday, and lower body on Friday. His goal is straighting, so to remember, it's important to give him somewhat high, medium to high volume to train, and he wants to get stronger in bouldering and indoor climbing, which is gonna be evolve a lot into pulling his body up, so there will be more exercise that help him to do so. No pain and injury, and he enjoys rowing, he enjoys deadlifting, so that will be a big part of it. Alright, so the first actually to think about that, maybe we want to start with something heavily on more like pulling on Monday, pushing and leg. It's gonna be like that. Okay, so the first exercise I think is gonna be very beneficial for him will be assisted pull-up, but in this case I want him to do it with single arm. Well, how can you do single arm assisted pull-up? Most of the time you can start with holding the handle with one arm and use the other one to hold the arm that are holding the handle. So it's gonna look like more like it. That will be helpful, especially for bouldering and indoor climbing, since it's very rare you're gonna have a very stable and balanced position to pull from both sides of your body. So it's gonna be important to develop single arm pulling motion at the moment. So that will be the first exercise we're gonna do, and then next one I think is gonna be one leg exercise. Why? Because we want to do something that more challenging at the earlier in the session instead of wait until the end. So it's gonna be squat. Let's say to be specific, it's gonna be barbell squat. Yes, so barbell squat is gonna be very wonderful exercise for him to develop any kind of pressing from the ground movement using his legs. So barbell squat will be right there, and probably that will be the only exercises we have for the lower body on this day. We will see. We still want to train a little bit for the press movement, and one of the best and most holistic press movement gonna be number bench press. If you push it close to the failure, pretty much you're gonna use every muscle on your chest and somewhat a little bit of front shoulder to push the weight up. Also some triceps as well. So it's quite enough. Of course, we can be more specific if we want to, but as I say, on Monday we focus more on pulling, so that will be something that we're gonna do. Actually, let me just add another one right here. Good. Alright, so we come back to the bike movement. High row, machine high row is one of the best exercise. Feel really good on the shoulder joint, and then give you a lot of strength, and also it's gonna be single arm movement. So machine high row is a perfect exercise for Marcos to build his bike strength to pull himself up. Now talking about that, I think it's gonna be a good idea if I can add some tempo in it. So it's gonna be 2-0. as hard as it can be, and 0. Yeah, so that what it means is gonna be explosive on the way down, no holding, and 2-second releasing. So that will be the meaning of that tempo 20x0. Okay, now what we want to do is I want him to have a little bit of dumbbells bicep curls, very standard one. That will help. That will be very helpful for him to build a little bit of strength on his biceps, and eventually, of course, because he's want to do bouldering and climbing, so grip strength is very important. So it's gonna be body weight dead hang. So body weight dead hang is one of the brilliant exercises that build a lot of strength for the grip. Grip strength is really important indicator to how long you can live. To be interestingly, yes, there's a correlation between how strong is your grip strength and how long you can live. And most of the time, for general population, you want to aim for 1 minute of duration. So that's what we want to aim for. Alright, so we move to the second day. So on the second day, we want to focus on the push. One of the reasons why we don't put the leg in the between, because your back has like all the big muscles, so it's really big, and it's pretty taxing in terms of energy and in terms of effort you have to put into the session. And then same with the leg. So if we put pull and then into leg together, it's gonna be quite a little bit too much. And then after that, you have the push day on the Friday, and then you rest for another 2 days, which is like gonna give you like really long time, like Thursday, Friday, and the weekend will be like pretty light, where you put all of the effort into the first 3 days of the week, which is, in my opinion, it can be a little bit better in terms of the distribution, the effort throughout the week, right? So we're gonna do push on Wednesday. To start with that, on Wednesday we're gonna start with barbell bench press. Really an exercise, nothing special here. It's just perfect to build pushing strength. And then we want to do one single leg movement. Why? Because we didn't do that. So I'm gonna give him to do the split squat. For Marco though, one thing about Marco is he has scoliosis, so it's really good to help him to build the stability from side to side. So for the split squat, I would like him to do single dumbbell to challenge his balance. And to be specific, I want him to hold the dumbbell working side. Okay. Alright, so that what we have for the single leg movement. And now I want him to still having some pulling movement on this day. And one of the most important one will be just pull up, because he wants to pull his body up, right? So it's gonna be assisted pull up right here. But on this day, yeah, well, we can get him to do single arm, because the more you do it, the better you're gonna get at it. Alright, so we come back to the press pattern. This is gonna be dumbbell shoulder press. Okay, so dumbbell shoulder press, this right here is amazing exercise if you can do it alternatively. Why? Because you want to have somewhat of flow of the movement going through your body. So if you are pressing with both sides at the same time, your body is pretty much closed on both sides, where your shoulder has to contract together on both sides, and then therefore there will be no flow, and it will be very easy to tighten up. And as I already say, Marco has a scoliosis, so it's also actually it's gonna make it even harder for him to keep the balance in terms of muscle and strength wise. So when you do one arm at a time and then go to the other side, you can actually training the body to stay balanced under the load, and then second, you allow one side to work while the other side to rest, which is going to be helpful to release the tension in the body in total. So yeah, so dumbbell alternative is like a really good really good way to do the press movement. Okay, so because he's already done that, so what I want him to do is gonna be some tricep extension, and then eventually I want him to have some kind of exercise that he trained for his core, because it's gonna be very important for him to have a good reach and have ability to control it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with the debug exercise. Alright, so that will be our second day of workout. Is still full body, but is favor on the pushing pattern. And now we go to the last one, which is the leg, the full body that focus on the leg. So the first one that he will do will be the conventional deadlift. One of the reasons why we pick barbell squat to pair with the pull heavy exercise will be we don't want to load too much on the bike already. Conventional deadlift is actually not just only for the glute and hamstring, but it's also a lot on the bike, and it might make the bike feel a little bit weaker on the exercise that you are actually trying to train for it. So by splitting it up, first thing first, the bike can pretty much train 3 times a week with the conventional deadlift as well. And second, it doesn't really affect the quality of the other movement that we already have on Monday, right? So conventional deadlift, I will put it on Friday, and then what I will do is I'm gonna give him to do a little bit of shoulder press. On the second thought, I think it's gonna be better for him to do incline press. Yes, and of course we actually can do it alternatively. Yep. And then we want to have somewhat a pull movement. So for today, I'm gonna choose dumbbell row on flat bench. I love this exercise because it's really stable. You stay very close to the ground, so your body feels really secure. And you do one side at a time, which, as I say, is gonna allow the flow of the movement going through the body better. It's gonna prevent the tightness happen on your muscle, and also is gonna train each arm individually, so we prevent any kind of excessive imbalance developed in your body. So it's a brilliant exercise. Okay, so I want him to have somewhat of split squat again, but this time I want him to move a little bit, so it's gonna be walking lunges with dumbbell and with single dumbbell. All right, and then eventually I want him to have a little bit of hamstring strength, because hamstring is brilliant to pull your body, actually to help you to pull your body up in the bouldering, not just only the quad, and also to protect your knee as well. So when you have like a strong hamstring, your knee will be much stronger. So I want him to have like some lying leg curl, and then I want him to do some core exercise, but this time it's going to be some kind of rotation where he can control it. So we will start with pull press. All right, so now what we will do is, because we haven't added any cardio exercise into this, we're gonna create some. So first thing first, what I want him to do is I want him to have some kind of, okay, so if we look in here, the first day is gonna be a lot on the bike already. So the bike is already like a lot of volume on the bike, and I know him. I know Marco, he's gonna choose row for his cardio training, and if he already has a lot of volume on that day, and if I let him to do like 20 minutes of rowing, it's gonna be too much volume to recover from. So what I will let him to do is gonna be cardio, like interval training. On the other hand, on this day right here, first thing first is the volume is pretty low, since it's a push pattern movement. Secondly, we didn't tackle a lot on the back muscle, so what we're gonna do is we have a lot of room to add a little bit of volume in there. So what I will get him to do will be the cardio 20 minutes, 10 to 20 minutes, steady state in 20 minutes, right? And finally, on the last day, conventional deadlift is already a lot of volume in here, dumbbell row, a lot of volume already, leg pretty tired. So what I will get him to do is, actually on this day I will get him to go easy through that. So it's going to be steady state, but it's going to be shorter. It's going to be only 10 minutes, and then give him give him some room to progress. So it can be like cardio 10 minutes, and then by the end we can actually increase that one into 20 minutes, right? So for Marco, we're gonna do set of 4x8. That's what we're gonna focus around. But the squat is gonna be 4x8. Dumbbell bench press is actually gonna be 3x10. Since I want him to have a little bit of volume on this day, he hasn't done much for his chest and shoulder on the first day. So give him somewhat of volume will be helpful. Actually thinking about that, but squat actually we can do also 3x10 as well. Machine row is gonna be also 4x8. Dumbbell bicep curl, because it's an isolated movement, we can actually aim for a little bit higher volume to build a little bit of muscle as well. Body weight hang is gonna be 4 attempts. It's gonna be, I want him to aim for at least 30 seconds, but actually I want him to aim for as long as you can, at least 30 seconds. Yes, cardio interval training is gonna be 6 interval. Is gonna be 20 because he's pretty good at it. So we're gonna do 30 second on, 20 second rest. That's what we're gonna do. And for the rest right here, it's gonna be 90 second. Okay, so for barbell bench press, we also come back to 4x8 single dumbbell split squat, because it's gonna be the only leg exercise on the second day. Is gonna be 3x10. Pull up single arm is gonna be 3x10. So for this one right here, he actually gonna have to adjust the weight, so make it lighter for him. Basically, put more weight to assist him. Eventually, it will give him more volume, but the intensity will be much lower. So for him, it will be good to build some muscle, but the one that actually make the difference will be the first one right here, since most of the time he doesn't really need to pull many times, but he just need to pull his body weight up, right? In the bouldering and indoor climbing, of course. So for the second press exercise on that day, dumbbell alternate shoulder press, it's gonna be still 4x8. Tricep extension, as I say, isolate movement. We can put some volume into it, so 3x10. Debug some core exercise, so we can also do 3x10. Go 20 minutes. Is gonna be maintain 60 to 70% of S rate, yes, and the rest will be 90 seconds. Okay, so we go for conventional deadlift. It's gonna be 4x8. Dumbbell alternative incline press. So because it's gonna be the only one, it's gonna be the only press exercise on that day. So we want to do a little bit more volume into that. Number row, same thing, more volume into it. For this one, it's gonna be 4x8. Lying leg curl, because it's isolated movement, so we wanna do 3x10. Pull-up press, because it's the more like technique exercise, so we also gonna want to do more repetition. It's gonna be 3x10. So cardio is gonna be, he can actually push a little bit harder on this one for 70%, not dollars. Okay. And this also 90 seconds. So one of the reasons why this one gonna be 60 seconds doing online lying single leg is because once you've done one leg, you basically rest while the other one is doing the work, so you don't need as long as the regular one, like 90 seconds. So you only need 60 second rest in between. This one also 60 seconds. Okay, so now all we need to do is basically copy it, right? So that's what we have right here. So this is the specific workout for Marco, but you can actually use that if you have the same schedule, which is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, where you want to do a lot of volume in it with a lot of repetition. And the goal isn't going to be for shredding. He's want to focus on a little bit more on the bike for his bouldering and indoor climbing. If you're a rower enjoyer, then perfect. This one amazing for you. And well, for this one he doesn't have any pain. But if you have some pain, better just consult with your physiotherapist or your trainer just before you do that, so you know what is going on and how you can adjust and modify your training. Okay, so I hope it's helpful. I will see you next time.